So this one is a bunch of my OCs that I'm on a story that I'm currently working on, and it's a GL. Um, it's gonna be a good old time story. And by the good old time, I mean there's gonna be spice, and I plan to make it fun to read as well. My monitor keeps turning off. What is happening? Technical difficulties. Let me see if I can invite some friends. Okay, I'm actually going to look at some questions are here actually then. I asked some of you to ask me questions on Instagram. I'm going to take a picture for Instagram. Live on YouTube. At that link. Obviously, I am not a regular streamer. I used to stream a lot on my other channel, but I don't do it as often anymore because kids, and I kind of lost the mojo of it. So I'm trying to get back into it slowly. I feel like I say this every time I'm on this channel, but I really am trying. It's just been so hard. Oh, wrong link. This is what happens when you get distracted. When you're trying, more like when you're trying to do like three things at the same time. Okay. And I might have to plug in my phone too because it is dying. We're on 11%, and we don't want that, right? We don't want the phone. Yeah. There you go. All right, back into it. So I'm gonna reread. I'm gonna be reading some of the questions. And if you have more questions, feel free to let write them in the chat. But before all of that, I want to say, if you like, you already like my art or you want to support, I do have a link below that is buy me a coffee. So if you want to donate, even $1 or 50 cents, whatever it is, a penny, doesn't matter, would be highly appreciated. You don't have to do it, but yes, appreciated. And if you don't know my name is Catherine Arjun. I'm going to be going by KRJ as well because I have two channels and I don't want people to get confused. So yes, here we go. And my watch is telling me that I need to drink water, which I will in a sec. Oops. Here are the questions. Okay, so wow, we got a couple of them coming in. Oh, oh wow, we have quite a few actually. Okay. One of the questions is, so we're going to start the Q&A, and don't forget to like the video if you enjoy this. So one question is, which art medium have you always wanted to try? I love this question because if you don't know me far enough, you would know that I've actually tried many different mediums. I like digital was definitely not and medium that I wanted to do personally at the beginning. I thought it was such a horrible idea. My monitor keeps turning off. I'm not entirely sure why. Huh. Now my monitor turned off. Technical difficulties. Let's plug it out and then plug it back in because, tech, that's how it is. Just when I was actually about to answer the question, too. Okay, here we go. Okay, so originally when I was in high school, I didn't want to do anything that had to do with digitally. So I would approach the arts a little bit more traditionally. I would use pen and paper, markers, color pencils. Color pencils, not a whole lot, but I definitely use a lot more traditional stuff, such as acrylics. Does not mean I was great at it, just putting it out there. I was willing to explore up until the end of high school. And then in high school, I just like made only drawings on like my sketchbook and um I approached it with markers and ink the most. And I stood by that for years up until in my late 20s. And I was like, I want to get an iPad and start drawing digitally. I want to experiment. And I didn't think I was going to abandon traditional art. Not that I abandoned it, but let's just say I stopped doing it for a long time. And it kind of kills me inside now. But I would say I want to try doing a lot more acrylic stuff because I really do find like a nice relaxation with it. It's messy, but it's so relaxing to use. I don't know if you guys can see, but there, I don't know what side this is pointing. Oh, yeah, right here. Okay, see the painting right back here. That's all made in acrylic. I never finished it. This was like I did this years ago, and I actually have a couple other ones in my wall. I can actually show you. There's this one I've never finished. I will someday when I get more inspiration to do it. And a couple of other ones, and I did acrylic one when I was really down in the dumps, and I say that in the most friendliest way because I do not want to get demonetized. But I was really, my mental health was not there. It was really bad. So I had made one that I still feel proud of. A couple of them, and they all have like a similar vibe too. And I feel like really proud of those drawings because I really put like my my feelings into them and how I really felt at the moment. Oh my gosh, gotta adjust these pens. So it was definitely something new for me, but I really enjoyed it. And as for that, I think the other medium that I want to try, which is not actually drawing, but it's making stuff, is 3D printing. I want to try that. And the reason why is because secretly I want to make my own figures of my characters, not like fan ones. I know a lot of people are like, oh, they make figures from like anime and all that, but I want to make my own characters, if that makes sense. Why it looks so lopsided. I think I'm gonna have to put this down. I'm not used to doing it this way. So you're gonna see my head down a little bit more. Feel free to write in the chat. Don't be scared, okay? So 3D printing is definitely something in my mind, and I'm possibly gonna get one in the just right now. I can't because I don't have the budget for it. And yeah. And by the way, these drawings look kind of janky because it's still on the sketching phase. I'm just trying to clean out the lines a little bit. The proportions are probably gonna look a little off. are really off. Just because this is the first time I do this kind of piece. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to show you. I'm going to back up. So it's kind of like showing the height of the characters. So that's why it looks really funky. I'm not used to doing this type of drawings. But yes. And I think that's it for mediums. I mean, I would love to try other stuff. I know I've used clay. I've done jewelry. I've played in resin. I played with resin before. All those stuff, all those things are fun to use. It's just they take a lot of time. It's very time consuming, and it's a hobby that you really need to be consistent with. And I'm definitely not consistent. I think I'm way more consistent with drawing than with the other stuff. I also like doing like crafting stuff with like the studio. Oh, what is not the studio? The silhouette machine. I know a lot of people use the Cricut, but I have the silhouette machine, and I tried making things with it, which I eventually will want to do more with. But it all goes back to with my own characters, if that makes sense. So we'll see what the future brings with that. When I sketch this character, I think my brain doesn't know how to draw and talk at the same time, which is why it's taking me so long to draw this character. But I think that answers the question. I would hope, but I'm gonna move on to the next one. And I guess my question to you guys, what would be your like the question was, which medium have you always wanted to try? What is the medium you wanted to try? You always want to try that you haven't tried. You can leave, tell me in the chat. I need to learn the layers in digital art. It feels like I feel it feeling like a fossil. Laugh out loud. So this is coming from a friend of mine. So I'm not sure if you want me to use your name or not, but I'm gonna put it out there. I hope you don't mind. So Dana, um, I'm not sure what program you're using, but I can show you on how I do it for Procreate and I don't know what just fell for Procreate and I can probably show you later if you're actually on. I can show you on Clip Studio. I'm not sure what you're using, but on Procreate, um, you would come at the top. Oh man, you can probably see it because I might probably have to show you this way. Okay. So if hopefully you can see my screen. Here, there's a two little squares in the top, and you click on that. I might have to do an in-depth tutorial for you, which is fine. You click on that, and then it's gonna say layers, and then you press the plus sign. That's one way to do it. But when you're starting, like let's suppose you're at the front here, you press here the plus side at the very corner, and then you choose your canvas. Now I would normally go by, and I usually go by like a big canvas just because it comes out more nicer. But if you're starting off, you can either do 11 by 8.5, or what was the other one? I think is one of the untitled canvases, 2300 by 3000. I think that's the one. We're gonna click that just in case. Yeah, I think that's the one. And then same thing. There's two little squares on the top here. You press that, and then your first layer is already there. And then if you want another layer, you press it again. Now, it depends on what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to color, let me give you an example. Okay, so the layer's open here, right? So suppose I wanted to do a drawing. So I'll in layer one, and I would say also like name your layers. The way you could do is just tap on it. You can do it with your finger. Okay, he's not doing it now. Oh, here we go. On the sidebar, you see how it says rename? You rename it and put line art here. That's the code. Line art. I'm gonna just draw, I don't know, an eye. It's gonna look really discombobulated, by the way. So I'm gonna draw an eye. I'm gonna put this eye here. It's not gonna look good. It's gonna look wanky and janky and whatever you want to call it. All right, let's draw this eye. So, no, oh, by the way, this is a really cool feature that Procreate has. Suppose we want to make a smooth circle. See this really weird circle? Just fold it here, and it makes it a lot more smooth. Well, that's an oval, but you get the point. Whoops. Let's erase that. All right, we got our eye, right? Oh my gosh, I just erased it. I am not great with tutorials, but that is okay. I hopefully you'll learn something new with this, right? So we got our eye. Let's put little lashes because it might be a girl's eye. I don't know, or like a very flamboyant man, or I'm not binary. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We're just drawing, and my janky eyebrow. All right. You want to add color now. So you're gonna go on the first layer. You're gonna press here, and you're gonna press reference. Now, reference mainly works if you have those lines closed up, if that makes sense. I'll explain what that means in a second. Now you pick your second layer. I'm gonna rename it to color. Okay. Let's say eyeball. Okay. And then you kind of put it down because you want your lines to show on the top. Let's pick a random color. Let's pick blue. I don't know. Let's pick red, just so I can stand out. Stand out. So your base color, you can either drop it in here, see how simple it is, or you can just color it in, obviously. Okay. But for now, let's just drop it in. Okay. Want to add some pupils? Let's make the color a little bit more darker. Obviously, Obviously, you would do it in your own way. Like you would do it your own ways. This part I always mess up. There's certain things I don't know yet, so I'm just showing you what I do know. Okay, that's our pupil, right? Not perfect. You know how those shadows of the eyes? So what you could do is, this is how I approach it, and this is how I do it. So you don't have to do it the way I do it, obviously. This is the way I do it. Everyone has their own method, and this might be tedious. It's a full warning. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, that's fine. So what I could do is just color it in. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna change my brush into a different brush because it just makes it easier. And I'm gonna use this airbrush and I'm gonna just brush it in. See how much easier that is. Oh my gosh. Not as smooth, but that's fine. We do the same thing, just hold it, make it a lot more smoother. And then I will go into even a darker color. And this is only one layer, by the way. You can do these in multiple layers if you want to. And then like, let's put that little light there. Like, oh yes. And like, that's too dark. Well, that's where I come on here and use this one, the luminous brush. And then I just give it that shine. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh, fancy. Right. So now you did the eye. But we haven't done the eye underneath, right? So what you can do is make another layer, put it down, because you want it to be behind the color of the eye, and then like get a white or a very bright color and you're like, well, I can't see that. Okay, we can solve that. You'll go on where it says background color right here, and you can change this to any color you want. See that? See the difference? Okay, so I think I'm using still the luminous brush. I hope all of this is making sense. I can do an in-depth tutorial for you. Not so rushy. And yeah, so can use a white brush here or whatever, a light color. This is not perfect, guys. It's not gonna be like excellent drawing. This is just for showing purposes. And see the difference right there, like, oh my god. And then if you want to add that shade of like underneath the eye, you can go, honestly, you can go with any color. Suppose y'all go with green, you can go with green and have it like a darker shade. And then let's use the airbrush again. Because I just like the texture of this. And then go right in there, clean this out. It's not perfect, like I said, but this is just an example. Bam. How's that? And obviously, you will go into different layers. I know it looks kind of janky in the layers. You can make it better. You can actually, instead of, you know how I have this space here in the white, you can just put it out. I just did it for like timing purposes. But I hope that helped. If you have more questions on layers or anything to do with that, let me know. I will obviously share what I know. I don't claim to know everything because I know I'm still learning as it is. But if you use Clip Studio, I'll show you another day, or if you come on to the live, I'll do it. I'll have to just share my screen through this instead of my tablet, if that makes sense. All right. Next question. What programs are you using? I'm using Clip Studio. Basically, you just answered the question I just asked. So yes, I actually use both. I use both Clip Studio and Procreate. I use Clip Studio more on my computer, and I think I'm going to focus more on Clip Studio when it comes to the actual webcomic making, because I just like the way it feels there, and making panels is a lot easier there. Well, not easier, but it's more convenient, and they have a bunch of 3D models that I'm able to use. So if you need any help specifically on Clip Studio, which I'm guessing the layers is going to be one of the cases, let me know all the questions that you have, and I can probably make a video on it. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, or Procreate, so I can do whatever you want me to. I'll do that for you. So awesome. So, but they're both great. The great thing about Procreate is that you only pay one time, and that's it. You don't have to pay for anything else. You can use the preset brushes that they have, which are great, for especially for beginners. And then you can also buy from other creators that make a bunch of brushes, but it's not mandatory. It's not something that you need to do. But yes. Also, don't forget to hit that like on the video because pushing the algorithm, that's what we want, right? So let's go to our next question. Hopefully that answered your question. Oh yeah, and actually there was one more thing. So Clip Studio, the advantage of Clip Studio is that you're able to use so much assets on it, especially, but it is a paid program actually. You have the ability to either pay one time. I feel like that's the I don't quote me on this because I don't remember. And then there's a monthly basis one too. I think I have the monthly basis one because I want those extra things. But you're able to buy coins and like things like that to buy like materials. There are a lot of free ones too. You don't need to buy them, like buy the paid versions. But you'll get things like 3D models, 3D backgrounds, you'll get images, you'll get materials to make web comics. So that's something that I think everyone should take advantage of, especially if you are using Clip Studio. So that's definitely something I would say try to take advantage of. And yeah, what is the drawing that I was just doing? Oh, here we go. No, no, no. Someone's gonna me because I accidentally showed a drawing that I wasn't supposed to. But anyways, so hopefully that helped. I hope that helped. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask on the chat. What motivates you as an artist? I see a lot of things motivate me as an artist. Um, everything from like, oh my gosh, I need to change the brush. Everything from I just derped out. Everything from music to other hobbies that I have, like dancing and like watching anime and like friends and like everyday life choices inspires what art I make. Um, Especially when I was talking about when I get in those times that my mental health isn't good and I draw these very obviously depressed drawings. When I'm like going through those time periods or when I just want to express myself, but I'm not able to vocalize it or like able to express myself. Because sometimes I just don't know how to without sounding like I'm crazy or like without putting the burden on people because I that's something I don't like to do. Um, but yeah, inspiration comes from all around, and I know that's probably cliche, but it does. Um, you'd be surprised where I could get inspiration from, even from the smallest conversations to create some sort of creativity in my mind. And I'm not always able to express it through drawings, but I try, you know, I don't have certain skills. So yeah. So hopefully that answered your question. If there's something more specific that you wanted to ask on that, go ahead and ask and in the chat. Someone asked me if I am planning to do more cosplays in the future. That is so funny considering this is not an actual cosplay. This is more like cosplay slash me playing around slash normal clothes. So this is part of our cosplay from the Sailor Jupiter if you don't know already. And then this year's I bought them for Halloween originally, and this is just to wear um for everyday uses, but it's really more for my dances. So I have another channel that I do dance and fitness in, and I buy things like this for the costume changes that I do because I want to look nice in the videos. So that's why. But I don't know if I'm planning to do any other cosplays for now. One, I don't have the budget for it. Um, and I don't know if I'll be able to go to any cons anytime soon. I didn't want to go to Anime NYC again because I went last year and the year before, which by the way, I had a blast in those, especially the first year that I went. Just amazing. Second year I had a lot of fun too, but I think my feet were killing me because of the shoes that I was wearing. So note to self, I know what to do now. Not wear those shoes for a very long time. Um, and then, but I had a really good time. I got to meet one of my friend's girlfriends, which she was really cool, and I was glad because we created a really cool like group bond, and I thought it was pretty neat. We actually went drinking after, which was even funnier. But because we were still in cosplay while we were there, and so people were just staring at us, they were just like, "Ooh," like it doesn't matter. Um, and I think I was doing Sailor Jupiter. My guy friend was doing I want to say Tanjiro. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was Tanjiro. And his girlfriend was doing um oh my god, his name is Inosuke. I'm like, what is his name? How could I forget? I love him. I have a Funko Pop of him. But yes, I that's what it did. So at some point I actually want to do like maybe a Demon Slayer cosplay, but I'm not 100% sure who. I would probably do Sunichu. So I freaking love him. Then I would pronounce his name wrong. I'm sorry for butchering it, but I love him. He's such a crybaby, but he's really strong. And yeah, I actually like all three of the main guys, with Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but and then Inosuke. I love all three of them. They're so funny together. I remember when I started watching it the first time, I'm just like, these guys are just clowns. But yeah. Other than that, other cosplays. I've done other cosplays in the past. Like I've done what is it called? I've done this the girl from Princess Mononoke. I did it from like regular clothes. I've done one character from Persona. I think it was Persona 7. I don't remember actually. This is such a long time ago. I've done Bulma from Dragon Ball, the bunny version. Every time I look back at those photos, I'm like, ooh, kind of cringe inside because I'm like, oh, and I've done Hanji from Attack on Titan. I love Hanji. Like Hanji is one of my favorite characters from Attack on Titan. But that's a lot of people's favorites apparently. I'm like, geez, okay, I can't even like these type of characters. Um, Eventually, I would love to do more cosplays, especially with my kids. If they get into anime, I would love to do that with them. I also was always the I also always wanted to do like Pokemon cosplay, like, but not like the typical like, oh, Ash or something. Like I wanted to create my own version of like a trainer, instead of doing an actual like already trainer. Unless is the girl trainer from Crystal. I don't know what it is about that trainer that I love, but she has always been my favorite female from all the Pokemon games. And I'm not talking about the anime, I'm talking about the games. Like Game Boy, throwback, which by the way I still have. I literally have right here in my little pouch. I have my 3DS with stickers. And I have a bunch of games, a bunch of Pokemon games at that. Yeah, I have X, I have Platinum, and then I have Mario 3DS. Oh, I think I found that one. And then I have a couple other Pokemon games. Just don't know where they're at. I'm gonna have to look for them. But yes, that was that. And then obviously I want to cosplay my own characters just because, I feel like it's something that I always wanted to do. Like create the material and stuff, but I don't know how to do that stuff. So I don't know when that's gonna happen. Um, but yeah, that's it. So the next question, actually, before we go to the next question, I there was one funny one. One of my friends was being silly, and he writes, how much would a woodchuck chuck if you chuck the I'm like, really? Come on, bro. Like, that was so funny. I mean, probably not to you guys, but I personally found it pretty funny. I was just like, yeah. I think that friend is actually asleep now because they haven't answered back to me. That's okay. Okay, so let's go to our next question. I have to scroll. or rather tap on my, okay, well, what's the next question? I'm on the next level. If you're into K-pop, you probably know what that is. Okay. Are you still working on your manga? Yes, I am still working on my manga. I'm actually still in the writing process because, well, I take a very long time doing stuff. And it's probably going to be a while until I actually officially publish. I'm thinking of doing the self-publishing route just because I want to be able to not only post it online, but I want to be also able to put them. Um, because I don't know, that's just it's something that I've always wanted to. And I look forward to it. But honestly, this is not the only story that I'm going to be putting out. This story is currently the one I'm writing now. It's a GL story. Um, Possibly 18 plus. We'll see in the final productions of it. And because I do want to have some like spicy scenes in there. Trigger warning, there might be some other content in there that may indicate that the story will be 18 plus. Which is why I was like, yeah, I don't know yet, but we will see where this leads us or leads me to this. I would love for you to stick around for this because I genuinely want to create a community that enjoys it and want to learn about the characters and see if they relate. That's how I feel when it comes to like any manga or like webtoon or whatever the book is. And just see how that character can relate to me or how I'm going to enjoy reading them. Much like this is not like part of it, but it's like for example, I can give you this. I was reading this story right here, Legends of Mate, and this is if you're really like if you're into D&D and stuff like that, think like D&D, like a fantasy story, but it's like it has like a cozy feeling to it, so there's no battle in it or anything. Well, no real battles. It's basically about this ex-warrior. That's the right way to say the this person right here, and how she opened up a coffee shop, and it goes from there. And there's a prequel to it, which I'm still reading. But my point is, when I was listening to, because I was listening to it originally on Audible, I just love the way they describe the main character, and I just dropped my freaking, I just dropped my pencil. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. So I just love the way they describe the main character and just was like, man, how can I relate to this person? And I felt somebody gave me a heart. Thank you. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like the actual video so it can be pushed to the algorithm. I know I sound so like weird, but whatever. Yes. So that's the kind of feeling I want to be able to bring to the table when it comes to my story. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. Like, I really hope it does. So I want people to love and hate my characters because there are gonna be characters that you're definitely gonna hate in there. You're do this because they're the villains. They're the ones that people don't like. And or maybe you will love that person because you're like, oh, you know, oh, my villain is definitely somebody that I want to be. I want them to be evil, like really evil. Even though this is like this is like a dark. I want to say dark romance because I've learned about like the different concepts, but it's like that person is truly not a good person, which is this person right here. um, I'll talk about them a little bit more in the future. If you want to know, you do let me know. Um, and like, I don't know, just yeah. So yes, I'm still working on it. I'm still in the writing phase of it. I haven't finished it. I don't even know if I'm still halfway there. I might be, just because I keep having like those time periods that I have those like gaps that I need to fill in the story. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm on my first draft right now. I'm only promoting it because not only that, but it keeps me like promoting because it keeps me accountable. Sorry, I feel like I repeated myself just 4 times just there. And I want to get the people hyped so they want to read it. Like it's that wonderful feeling of when you're also a reader, you're just like, I hope that my community feels the same way when I publish my own thing. And obviously it's not about me. I want it to be about you, like your experience on it, like how do you feel about it? Like in a sense of like, was it relatable to you? Or is this something that you wouldn't mind, like I wouldn't say mind happening to you, but it's like in a sense of the romance aspect, you're just like, oh, I wish I had like somebody like that kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense. Because I know a lot of romance stories are like that. Um, but yeah. So this is a GL again. So it's mainly women involved. Um, and it is inclusive in a sense of like body wise. It may not look that way in this drawing, but um, and like it's a little bit modern in the sense of like body wise, pronouns and all that stuff because I just want to make it more modern, but not so new to the point that we're up to the years of now. I don't know if that makes sense. Just a little couple of years back. Because the story takes place, um, it does take place also in the future of the story. So it is a couple of years back, um, when it starts. And then the main characters, they get a little older in the story. I think around 10 years passes, or 7 years or something like that. I don't remember what I put. But they're a little bit slightly older and to the story, and that's when a whole lot of other stuff is gonna happen. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Don't forget to. This is probably the third time I already said this, but don't forget to give that like and subscribe if you want to stick around. By the way, can you guys hear the music? Because I don't even know. I don't think I've asked this. Focus on the characters for a bit. So obviously, like I said, I'm just doing the lines for now. So I can delete the other layer. And that way I can add a lot more detail because it doesn't look like great right now. Yeah, and another thing is a habit that I have is that I rotate my canvas a lot, like because I'm left-handed. So bear with me if you haven't noticed already, of course. And details are not great. This is more for like not sketching, but cleaning out the sketch. I think that was the only questions for Instagram. I do have more questions on the side. which I can read to you guys. 1 second, bear with me. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, hello. I'm sorry, I just noticed you. Hello. Sorry about that. I could have, for some reason, I didn't notice anybody writing to me. Okay, so let me see if I can find these questions real quick that I was talking about. Just a reminder, I do have a little hi Buzz Buzz. I like that name. Um, like what's it called? Buy me a coffee. So if you want to ever donate to me, not mandatory, of course. Don't forget to give that like to the video. But yes, somebody just tried to call me. Don't call me. I'm live streaming. Okay, so where was I going? So if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know down in the chat. I want to like everyone to engage. It doesn't matter. Just at this point, you can just come and engage and talk and have fun. Like at the end of the day. So let me look through these questions because some of these might repeat from earlier. But I was like, hey, I've been struggling to find. Okay, so I've been struggling to find the right software for digital art. Any recommendations for beginners? Okay, I'm not an expert, guys. Okay, so just giving you a heads up. So I know a lot of people use IBS, I think it's called. I hear that that's really friendly beginner. But with my own experience, I say Procreate is probably one of the most friendliest softwares to start with. Again, this is just my opinion. It would also depends on your age and if you're able to purchase it, because I know that it is a paid program. So that's why I say the other one. And then there's also Medibang. Medibang. So Medibang. That is also a free software. I actually used to use that one too, but it became very like annoying because of the ads, but it's still like a great software. So if you have like you can't like buy it, I would say go for those two free ones. There's other ones that are great too. But for my own experience, I would say Procreate is a great way to start. You can also start with Clip Studio, especially if you have like some Photoshop background. And but it's pretty straightforward once you understand where everything is at. If that makes sense. The advantage that Clip Studio has, that I mentioned before, is that you have so much free assets. And so like everything from like 3D models and um anything that you want to use for your webcomic if that's what you're doing or if you're illustrating, those things are great. And do not feel ashamed to use these things because that's why they're there. Because to make art quicker and not better, but like makes it quicker for an artist is to use those things. Oh my god, I watched season 1 of Attack on Titan. I watched the first season. Yes, I watched. I'm ashamed to say it, but I haven't watched the last season. Don't kill me. But I haven't watched it, but I know what happens. I know what happens because one, spoilers, and I don't care for spoilers in the sense like it doesn't spoil it for me. It just gives me more motivation to watch it. I just haven't been able to watch it yet, or haven't made time to watch it. More like it. Um, but I will watch it eventually. I'm just that kind of person. It just takes me forever to finish any anime. Um, but yes, and then Kanji is so cool. Hopefully, I'm still. Yeah, Hanji's name is kind of hard to remember how to spell it because they spell it in different ways. And I'm assuming you're a little behind in the live stream because I think I said that a while ago. But yes. So going back, the program Clip Studio, do not be afraid of using the assets because that's why it's there. It's there to help you to learn and grow as an artist. We all start somewhere, you know. Um, so yes. Um, oh, this one is funny because I'm not like an expert at, but I can give you some tips that made me start. So the question is, could you share your top three tips or any tips that you have to get started in a webtoon? Just start. Honestly, just start. Because you're not gonna know what's going to work for you if you don't. Is what I could say. And I'm still like in this phase because even though I'm in the writing process of I was gonna say YouTube, of my web comic, it would have never happened if I didn't because I was contemplated for I'm talking about years. Like this story has been in my mind for years. Like since maybe 2011. And I'm not joking. And I changed some things around and obviously because you gotta get with time, so let's be real. Um, some things just don't work out anyway, because you clearly see it's dated, which is not a bad thing, but it's not always a good thing, So yeah, there's that. Just start, even if you're not great, you'll get better at it. And the more you practice, the more you draw, you might get better and learn from other people, obviously. You don't necessarily want to copy their everything they do, like their style and stuff, but you can learn from it and create your own style. I don't have a consistent style, to be honest, because well, that's just how I am. I don't know, weird. Which is why I say I don't really know. I can't tell you everything because I don't know everything. So, another question. Okay, as a fellow writer, somebody because I also, like I said, I'm writing that story. So, fellow writer, how often I often find myself stuck in a rut. How do you overcome writers like listen? I wish I knew how to get myself out of it. I wish I knew. But what I do is just I don't write for a while. I just kind of like sometimes I just stop writing for a while and do other things. And then I'll go back to it and I'm like, that's when things come in. Sometimes those ideas just flow in my brain at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of like art. It's the same way. Um, it could literally be in the shower, and I'm just like, oh my God, I had the greatest idea for this scene. Like it literally happens all the time. Oh my gosh, my ears are falling off. My elf ears. Um, and I keep saying I apologize for that. But that's that's how it happens for me. I will listen to music, I'll draw, I'll do other things that will keep me off the story. I talked to my friend about my two of my friends, maybe three of my friends about it because they kind of know already about the stories. I get advice from other writers. I'm in a writers group and they give amazing advice. And yeah, so love your use of color. Any advice for someone to look for improvement? So honestly, I suck at color theory. I know color theory, but I can't explain it. It just makes sense in my brain. Like this is why I don't know if I can do like educational content because I know the thing, but I don't know how to explain the thing, if that makes sense. Um, and then the way I learn how to color digitally, I learn a lot of it from one of my best friends because she's also an artist. but she sometimes doesn't think that she's a good enough artist. And I think we both feel that way, but she knows she's good. It's like I don't know how to explain it. And there was a day that I was like, I really like the way you do the skin. I think it was the skin color or like some sort of blending or something. I was like, can you tell me how to do that? So she actually sat down. You draw beautifully. Teach me. Like, listen, I'm telling you, it's like I know how to do things, but I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't know how to like teach it. But this, okay, so the drawing that you guys are seeing now, before I go back to the question, this is really just a draft. Like this is just a sketch of it. This is probably the cleanest one out of all of them, but I'll show you. But be warned, some of my drawings are very adultish, so I apologize. So I'll just let me see if I can find. Okay, example. I'll show you this one. So this is the character, one of the characters that I was just previously drawing in the other drawing. This is my main character, and so what I do is I actually took a picture of myself, by the way, to do this, so I couldn't do the pose. As you can see, actually in the layer. So I'm gonna turn off. See if I could find the. Oh, here we go. So as you can see, this is a very clean sketch layer right here. But previously to this one, I had a different one. I might have deleted it by mistake. Maybe I did. I think I deleted it by mistake. But I had another sketch layer that was very, very messy. So I start off a very messy one. And what I do is I grab this this one right here. So I go to inking right here, and then I go to syrup. I use that brush, and it makes the lines a lot cleaner and smoother. You do have to play around with it to find out what strokes work for you, and that's how I do. Another way you can learn how to draw, take your own pictures. That's how I learned how to draw a lot of the faces, by taking my own pictures, especially because I'm a plus size girl, gal, whatever. And my main character, she's a plus size girl. So I was like, you know what? I'll just take my own pictures and like make her from my own pictures. That is not cheating, guys. It's you can also you don't have to like trace it, obviously, if you don't want to. You can use it as reference, and that is okay. That is part of learning. Anatomy is very important to learn when it comes to drawings, but take your time. Like it takes time to learn. It is hard, but it's not impossible. That's what I can say. It took me years. I'm talking about years to learn what I know now, and even still, I'm not that like sometimes that good at it because sometimes I forget. I would draw the head too big or certain parts of the like the legs way too big, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like it doesn't look proportioned. So it looks kind of off when I do it sometimes. Um, go back to this drawing. Okay, so I hope that helped, by the way. I don't know if it did, but I hope that helped. So going back to the question real quick. So how do I like improve your coloring? Honestly, just learn from other people. Like I said, like I learned from my best friend because she was able to explain it to me. But if you go on YouTube, there's so many in-depth videos about it, and just take it one at a time. Just even if you just have to focus on such as if it's like a 10-minute video, let's suppose like just focus on that 1 minute part of it and like hone down on it. Like practice it over and over and over and over in different ways until you get it down. Might be tedious, but it's it's really one of the ways to learn. There's many different ways to do it, but that's one way that I can think of. Um, so there's somebody said, I'm curious, how long does it take you to do a single page, if not a page like a drawing, like an illustration? It really depends on what I'm drawing. How come I'm not? Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I'm not consistent in posting because I am a mom of two, and I was working for a while and I had a major insecurities about my art for a long time. I'm trying to, be more out there about it, but thank you. You're so sweet for that. Oh my gosh. Um, I do have an Instagram, by the way, if you want to follow me there. It's the same name as this. I have Instagram and TikTok. If you guys want to follow me there too. So, but yes, oh my gosh, that was so sweet. Thank you. That just like, I don't know, that made me so happy that you said that. Um, no, it was much oh yes, so how long does it take me to draw something? Like I haven't done any webcomics yet, like pages, but for illustration, it really depends on what I'm doing. It can take a, a few hours to days to weeks. It really depends. Especially if it's something that I'm like really giving a lot of detail to. Um, and then like I said before, my art isn't like consistent in the sense of like style. It tends to change a little bit. So it really depends on what I'm doing that day or that moment. Um, and yeah, so I've had artwork that I've done in a day. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this right here, that I did that right there, that back. It's not the greatest, but I wanted to do it to make it like more this room more like artsy. I don't know if you can see it, and that's another piece that I made right here. But and then the one in the back one I did years ago. Sorry, I don't even know. So that one back there I did years ago, and I still haven't finished it. So it really depends on how I feel about it and how long I really take. I don't know. Just that's just the way it is for me. Oh no, what just happened? Okay. Wait, did I just? Oh, here we go. I'm like, what happened to my screen? Um, here we go. Okay. So I'll answer a couple more questions and then I'll have to go eventually because I've been actually on. Why do I keep saying that? Yeah, actually. I have to work on that actually, and but I'll stay for another 20-ish minutes and then I'll have to go because I have to get ready to do other things. Um, so yes, like I said, it takes quite a few quite some time for certain drawings or art. And then sometimes it just takes a day. It depends on how serious I'm taking it or what I'm doing at this moment. So yeah. If it's like, let's suppose if it's like a just one character and I'm just drawing the character, no background. Yeah, that might take me like probably an hour or 30 minutes, depending on how many details I put in and if I color it in. Um, because usually I know what to do right away, like in my brain. But if I'm just kind of drawing with going along and just drawing like maybe to the music or whatever, um, it's different. I kind of wish we could play copyrighted music because instead of like, well, I love the creators of this because it's copy free music, copy wrote it to free copy, whatever. Um, Shout out to Creator Mix, by the way. They're the ones that created these songs. I don't know. Can you guys hear the music, by the way? I never got a yes or no, so let me know if you do. Um, if I could play music, I would probably play Yiruma. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a pianist. Amazing. Such an amazing artist. And if you ever watch like the movie, I think it's Twilight, that plays one of his songs. My gosh, so nice. But we technically are not allowed to play copyrighted music because I can get booted from the live, which sucks. Um, okay, let me answer a couple more questions. If you have any questions, please ask them away and don't forget to like so the algorithm pushes the video out. What music do I listen to? Listen to all kinds of music, honestly. I think the only thing I don't listen to, well, I'm lying. One of the things I don't listen to is probably country, but my taste of music ranges from K-pop to hip hop to rock to even Japanese music at some point. I listen to Hispanic music because I'm Latina. Um, so really, it's I have a very big range of like music taste. Um, I do listen to majority these days to K-pop because I've have this love for it since like 2005. But I listen to anything that just sounds good to me. Thank you for the question. Keep on coming with these questions. So I can just make more conversation with you. Oh my God, I love K-pop. Who's your favorite? So right now, that's really difficult to say, but I'm definitely a BTS stan, and I've been a BTS stan since 2013. But I've had my fair shares of other groups that I really love, like Shiny, and like I really like the older groups a lot. From the newer per se, I don't know if I have like a group that I stan, but I will like a couple of their songs. Like I do like Stray Kids, some of the Stray Kids songs. Um, who else? I'm trying to remember. Um, there's so many new groups now that I'm like I can't keep up, but I definitely will listen to them. I won't say like, oh, I stand them because for me to stand a group, I need to know a lot more songs. And then funny enough, BTS started that way for me because they were introduced to me by an ex-boyfriend, and he was the one that was like, this group is going somewhere. And I'm like, what makes you so sure about that? I was like, yeah, their music sounds great, but what makes you so sure about that? Considering there were so many groups coming out during that time. Fast forward 10 years later, they're like amazing. They're like one of the top ones. Obviously, there are other groups who are heading to that direction, and I applaud them because it takes so much work and so much passion to be at that level. And I BTS gets a lot of praise, and I praise them too. But I know that there are other artists, other K-pop artists that can do the same. They can't, and I feel like they've kind of opened the door for them. But there are other artists who are much older that opened the door for BTS, and that's the thing that people don't see. Um, and this is coming from a huge BTS fan. Um, like there's other older artists who opened the door for them, and people don't see that. Like, I would say one of the biggest examples is BAP. BAP was really huge at some point, and they were making it out there. Like a lot of people started to know who they were, and unfortunately, their entertainment wasn't the greatest, and they weren't treated right. And then there's other controversial stuff that happened years later, and unfortunately, they didn't even turn out well. But like the most of the members are great. Which if you know who BAP is, I have like a huge story about them. I can share sometime in the future. But it's really I was such a fan girl. But yes, I got to meet a lot of artists actually, and I recently just went to see August. Not recently, but in April, I got to see August before he went to the military, and that was amazing. That was such an amazing tour, concert. But who are your favorite groups? Like, I want to know because I know that there's a lot of new groups. I just my brain isn't like processing it right now. Who are your favorites, and who's your bias for the group? I want to know. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these questions are very similar. There's a lot of these questions are also very like advanced. They're like too much advanced for me. Okay, let's see. Can you show us a few of your best drawings? And can you tell us how long it took you? Okay. Okay, so fair warning again, like my drawings are a bit adultish. Hold on one second. Let me I would say one of the best. I don't know. I mean, because in everyone's eyes is different what the best may be, but I say to feel proud. I think this one is probably one of my not best, but I like it's one of my proud works. This is a character I have from a different story. That one took me a couple of hours, I think. Um, I do have non-digital stuff too. And I don't have all my work on this because um I used to have a previous iPad, sorry my brain, and it deleted a lot of the work that I had, but I can show you some of the stuff that I've made that I've either I'm sorry, I have to reach for it. And I have to that I've made and printed out or have sketchbooks. I can show you some of my sketchbook stuff. It's probably not a good view, but okay. I can show you some of the stuff that I have. Okay. So this is not like proportion wise, I realized that it's not the best, but I'm super proud of this and I love it. Is this drawing right over here? And where am I? I'm trying to see where my camera's at. Oh, okay. Okay. So where's the chat? Oh, okay. So this drawing right here, and I don't know if you can see the details on it, but this one was made in Clip Studio on my computer. When it got printed, when I printed it out and I laminated it because I didn't want it to get damaged, it just came out so beautifully. Like the colors, it was so like it came out shiny and vibrant, and it was like was so proud of this. Is it the best? Probably not. Um, I have a few other ones like traditionally. Again, my style changes a lot, and it might not be like the best drawing, but it's drawings that I'm very like proud of. Like this drawing I did back in college in 2018. No, no, that's definitely not 2018. It says 1018, but it was not 2018. It was 2012 probably because I remember that was when I was in my year. The school that I used to go to was it was an art school, and I was friends with this one guy. Probably shouldn't say his name out loud, but he was one of my classmates, and I remember when I did this, he was like, "Oh, this is actually really good." Like he liked it too, and I was just like, "Oh," I felt like I was so proud of that drawing. And in this drawing, I might not like show everything because there is some like little bit of nudity going on, but this is one of my drawings that I did when I was down and my mental health wasn't there. But those are the drawings that I do when I'm like that type of drawing. And I can actually show you like a paint version of it, and it's just her face. This is done with acrylic. And then it's just me experimenting. This is not like me trying to do anything perfect. So this is what I say, it just takes practice, and it takes patience to get where you want to be. Um, I don't know if you can see this one, but this one's so cute. Like I tried to draw myself as Sailor Jupiter years ago. And this hairstyle that I put on the drawing, this is the hairstyle that I usually do when I am working out or doing like something dance related. Which by the way, I do have a channel, another channel that I do dance fitness content and I do some K-pop stuff. I originally started that channel with K-pop covers, but this was years ago, like 5, 7 years ago. And yeah, so there's that. I do have a lot of older traditional stuff. I have this drawing here. I don't know if you can see it. It is a little delayed on my side, so I'm trying to see if it shows or not. But yeah, so I do have like a lot of drawings that I'm really proud of, which is why I put this portfolio. Um, I can probably do an in-depth video on that. Not in a live stream, but I'll definitely do a video on that, like my most proud work and how long I probably took on them. I might not remember though, just to be fair. Um, but some of the drawings I'm most proud of are not the most eye friendly in a sense, like it's probably you have to have a certain age to see it. And I don't know how old you are, so that's why I say that. Um, so yes. Let me see if I can find anything else. I think one of the most proud moments that I have while these drawings, I personally feel like I look back at it now and I'm just like, I could have done so much better, is when I was able to work with a company called TubeBuddy. And TubeBuddy is like it's like I'm sorry, my brain. It's a plugin that helps you like with like your YouTube videos and all that stuff. But the the co-founder or the founder at the time, he hired me to do some drawings for him for their website. And I think my drawings might still be up on there. And I did like their uh portrait photos. And I have some of the sketches here actually. And then I ended up doing them digitally afterwards. So here's one of them here. That was the guy that hired me basically. And actually, let me stop sharing real quick on here. So you guys can see better. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's him right there. That's one of the guys. He's the one that hired me, and I drew him first. And then this is like more of the people that were there. A lot of these people I think are no longer with them, either like retired or I say retired, but I don't know what really happened. Um, because I'm not part of their company in that sense. But yeah, that's I remember working for them for a couple months, and I would say that is one of the proudest moments that I had as an artist because I basically had to step up, and it was a huge project. It lasted a couple of months for me because it was a lot happening during that time. I think I had just given birth to my second child, and I was also going to school virtually. And I think that was around COVID on top of that. It was just a lot going on. I think, I don't remember. There's another drawing that I never really like, I kind of posted, but I didn't at the same time, I think. It took me a couple of months to post, but I really love the way I did this one. It's not perfect, but I really love the way Duo. If you know Gundam Wing, I really love the way Duo came out, and then Nishinoya from Haikyuu, and then these two characters. This is from anime slash manga called Sayuki. His name is Gojo, and he's Momotaro is from a live action show called Kamen Rider Deno, which I was in love with. And then I have more actually. So I actually added more to it recently. So I have Koga from Inuyasha. This is Lucifer from Kamigami no Asabi. It's it has like an automat. Is it automat? It's like when there's a lot of guys and there's one girl, like that style of anime. It essentially is like a game. But yeah. And then Kudo from My Happy Marriage. Yeah, My Happy Marriage. I love that anime. I'm waiting for season 2. I cannot wait to watch it. And of course, my little baby here, Zenitsu uh Demon Slayer. I think I added the two in the bottom and just yeah, it says December 2nd and this yeah, both of them were in December 2nd. The other two are little older drawings. So I know that your question was like, which one is your best drawings and but I don't know if I have a best drawing per se, but I do have like drawings that I'm really proud of. Really proud of this one too. This is exactly when I gave birth to my daughter. And then I don't know if you can see it, but this is supposed to be my son here. And then that's supposed to be my daughter and like breastfeeding her there, like giving her milk. And then this over here in like shows that I was studying virtually and then I would work out because I have some weights around somewhere. I think it is right here. Weights right here, and then I have like books and then toys, and then you see a little Tata BTS related uh plush pillow. And yeah, like they're not best drawings, but they're drawings that I'm proud of because it's like I put a lot of feeling into it and all that. Um, and then I have this drawing. This is a drawing that I did when I started going back to traditional, at least practicing. These are two characters that I have that are part of a fantasy story that I'm writing also, but it's not going to be out anytime soon. It's just I have a lot of drawings on them because I've been drawing them forever. And then I guess the last few things that I can show you guys before I go is if I can find a sketchbook. I don't even know where the other sketchbook is at. Here it is. Right. It's right here. Um, this is one of my favorite sketchbooks ever. Like the material of this is amazing. If you ever find it, it's on the Presence, and it's a uh, bleed proof sketchbook. It is expensive. I think it runs on like 20 something dollars, even $30, but it's so worth it. Like, especially the hardcover one is so much better than this style ones. Like, I don't really like this style that much. I like the paper to this one, but I like this so much more better. And I've had this for years. And I think pretty much is almost filled up the whole thing. And I can show you what I have. So this is something that I made for like I wanted to get it as a tattoo originally, but I was like, yeah, I didn't do it. So I just like printed it out and like put it on my sketchbook. Um, but yes. So this is like characters that I have. These are the older drawings, by the way. So as you can see how much my art has changed. And I wish I could sometimes still draw this way because I miss it. So, and then there's a Sailor Moon one right over here. Never finished this one. I should though. Oh my God, this is so hard to hold. Yeah, let me see if I can. I probably won't show you the whole thing because it's a lot of drawings in here, but I'll show you the ones that pretty much. This is a really weird one. I wouldn't say I'm proud of this one, but this one's a really, really weird one. And I use washi tape as well, even on his pants here, the green pants, to just give it like texture. And I was like experimenting like on what to do. Um, let's see if I can find other same thing for this one. This is supposed to be like my son when he was born. He really liked Pororo, the cartoon. It's like this Korean like kids show. So I drew him and then I use washi tape. By the way, my son is half Korean and that is his actual name. And then my kids are half Korean. Um, and then I have this one that I also use washi tape all around. And I was in this weird phase of like experimenting with other stuff because I wanted to do like mixed media. Um, then we have this octopus, lady octopus here. really love that drawing. I might redraw that. And then I have a bunch of Inktober stuff. So I did this for Inktober. Um, what else? The other ones are like just sketches. This I did for Inktober, and I really, 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 really love. She's supposed to be a goddess. Um, she's based on like some Greek mythology goddess. And then we got some, I mean, some so Jupiter. Let's see if I have any more. These are all sketches. Here we go with the same character from earlier. Yeah, sketches could. So, um, oh my God, what happened? My live got interrupted. So to finish up, so remember how I mentioned that I had worked for a company at some point to make drawings. The only reason that ended up happening was due to this drawing right here. This is a drawing that opened up a door for me, and I'm totally grateful for. So I made this drawing more for fun because these are YouTube gurus, I want to say gurus, um, who I follow personally and I love their content. So we got Nick Dimon, which is this guy right over here, his brother D. We got Roberto Blake. This is Andrew Can. We got Brian G. Johnson, and then we got Daniel Patel. And then the middleman is my personal favorite because he's my mentor as well, Owen Video. Um, so this is the drawing that opened up like some doors for me, and I have it on a t-shirt, and a couple of people actually bought it. Even the guy from the CEO from TubeBuddy bought it, and he like put it on Twitter, and I was like crying. Somebody likes my art. I'm like, what? So I have to say that this drawing like is the one that brought some doors for me, and I've always going to appreciate it. And I might make it. I might even remake it. And then we got some like mermaid here, and I think that's pretty much it. I think everything else is like sketch. Oh, we got some Steven Universe stuff, like some fan art. I really like Steven Universe. Like like so cute. Yeah. And then the rest is like blank pages and then sketches. So I think I'm gonna leave it there. I might answer one more question and then go from there because my time is running out now. Um, how do I handle? Okay, I'll see if I can do one or two more. How do I handle criticism and negative feedback? Now, this is a tough one because for the longest time, negative feedback was I'm a very sensitive person, to be honest. And I would take it very hard, depending on where the feedback would come from and who said it. But something that I learned as an art student is you have to learn how to receive criticism when it comes to your art. Now, the person doesn't have to be rude about it. What they can approach it in a sense if what they're saying is going to help you, it's good. But that's also they have to understand that you have to be willing to listen to them. So it's not like you post something online and somebody says, "Oh, you did that eye wrong. You should fix it." Like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if there's like a group discussion or you as a person ask your audience, or if you're in a art class and you say, "Hey, I need some feedback in this drawing. What can I do better? What can I improve on? And what do you think is good so far?" That's when you receive the criticism. Now, again, not all criticism might sound nice to you, like when it says like you're like, oh well, I don't want to hear that about my art, but this is what's gonna help you improve. And that's something that I learned in art school, both in high school and in college. But again, a person doesn't have to be rude to help you grow as an artist. Like they don't have to be rude about how they critique your art, if that makes sense. So I hope that helped. I hope that makes sense. But there's a lot of different ways. Obviously, critique is supposed to be a tool to help you not only understand um what you've done good in a sense, or done good in like people's eyes, but just because you okay. Another thing about art is that just because you have a style and it may not look cute or perfect to somebody else does not mean that you're not a good artist. Because art is supposed to be different for everyone. You know, whatever might look nice for you might not look nice for somebody else, and that's okay. But I think where the lens gets lost is that people think it's like, well, it doesn't look proportioned. Like if your style is like obviously not proportioned on purpose, then you could just make that clear. Like, you know, this is the style I'm going for because blah 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 X Y Z. I don't know. Depends on what. Like for example, like you ever seen cartoons like throw let me think, but like I was gonna say Ed and Eddie because I'm old. But like even newer cartoons. Okay, let's give Steven Universe an example. When you look at the characters, they're obviously weirdly proportioned sometimes. Why? Because that's the style of what she wanted to approach. And just because that doesn't look traditionally like proportion doesn't mean that it's not a good style. I don't know if that makes sense. But I hope it does. And I don't know how to explain it any simpler because I always then think in my brain and words don't come out simple. So I hope that was helpful. What is the biggest lesson you learned as a creative or as an artist? Oh, I mean, I've already mentioned some of them, but there's so much that I've learned over the years and still am. And by the way, this will be the last question I'm answering. Um, unless you drop one in the chat. But so much, much like I had said earlier, the credit, like the whole critique part, you know, open yourself to learn and to take criticism, but at the same time, you don't need to take hate or negativity from people, you know, just because they think that they're being helpful and they're just being negative, you can just block them out. Like, you don't need to listen to them. You can always address it and say, you know, I want to be critiqued, but I don't want to be insulted in a sense like you don't need to be about it, you know. Um, and there's a lot of other things that I learned as an artist. You have to have patience. You also need to practice a lot. You don't need to do it every day. That's I feel like that's redundant. Like it's too much, especially if you're a student. Just whenever you have the time, practice. Take like 30 minutes, an hour, and practice, or even if it's 10 minutes. Something is better than nothing. Because if you don't practice, you're not gonna get better. You get what I'm saying? Also try other mediums. You might find a medium that you might not even know that you like. Try different mediums, try different styles of art, study art, whether it's on YouTube and books, go to classes. And really depends on what you want to do. Like if you really want to make web comics, I can recommend you one person. There's a lot of people that you can follow, but one person that I personally follow, this is her book. Her name is Star Free Card. I don't know if I'm butchering her name, but this is one of the people that I follow. And I bought her her book. Can't even talk at this point. And yeah. And if you're more like, oh, well, I want to make a web comic, but I want to approach it as a writer first. One of the books that I was recommended, which I'm currently reading, is this one, is Save the Cat. I already listened to the screenwriter version, but I was like, I want to approach the novel version just to see what's different. And this is usually one of the things that people recommend. So I was like, why not? I would say get into writing it like if you're on TikTok, go on like writer TikTok or author TikTok or like web comic TikTok, and you'll find a lot of people giving some really good advice. Not all of them, but you'll find some great ones. So yeah. Anyways, any case, I do hope you guys enjoy that. I do have to run. I will try to be at least once a week. I want to make these live streams. And if you have more questions, please just leave me down in the comments. Or if you have me on social media, just ask them and I'll answer them in the live stream. Or if you have any type of request, like something that maybe I know how to do, but you don't know how to do, like earlier, I did a short tutorial for a friend that was confused about layers, and I did that for him. Hopefully he could catch it. I'm gonna make a short out of it so he can actually see it. But yes. With that said, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and I will catch you in my next one. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.